Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Alright, so I'm going to be playing a little Magic the Gathering. Going to try to get my daily in. I was on Final Fantasy XIV for a few minutes. I'll be getting back on that later this afternoon. Actually, I'm going to keep this hand. It's a pretty good hand. Okay. Gonna have to make a decision. That's fine. Actually, let's go with this one first. Alright. It's gonna have a blocker, eh? Might as well do it now. Okay. Protection from green, but not black. Yeah, protection from green, he should have whatever. That's fine. Okay, that's good. All right. Do that, or... Got it. Okay, it's gonna go first. Got some really expensive cards here. Oh boy. We're gonna mulligan. Oh, it's even worse. We can keep that one. Let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of our assassin. I think having two creatures and a dual card kind of is okay. I already know what deck this is going to be. We use it for a blocker for now, it's fine. Obviously nukes it. Okay. I don't know. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get what he's doing. That's fine, actually. It's actually good. It's kind of spelled out. Okay, we're gonna have to wait one more turn.
my strength. Be your best self. Our journey continues.
Oh, what a draw. Good game, though. Why didn't he just attack with everything? Why do people do that? Why? Just attack. Just get it over with. Roz, what's up? Want to fight at the end of the stream? I rebuilt my troll deck of doom. It's nastier than ever. Let me know whenever you're ready to fight so I can test my troll. Okay. Yeah, give me let me finish this. The 30 green spells, white spells, and then yeah. Actually, could probably do it now if you're on. I think it counts. I want to say it does. So let me guess. It's Rosalind 28707, I believe. Is that right? I think it is. I think that's right. Is that right? I think it is. Big mistake there, Ross. Dude, you just kept feeding my... He just kept feeding it. I was like, oh shit, dude. Okay. Good game, man. Good game. All right. So here's my opinion. I think you have a good deck. I think your deck was good. But one of the big mistakes is you counted the survey. And basically, I'm casting it at the end of your turn to force you to use that counter. Thinking to myself, if he counters this, I have all of my mana and during my upkeep, right? So once you exhausted that, tells me what? I can now cast the spell without fear of being countered. And that was the biggest issue. That was the only issue you had, because by the time you burnt that counter, my creature was in play, you bounced them back. I repeated the same process to what? Empty out your mana in hopes that, and then I casted a quick spell to see if you had a counter. Because it was like, if there's a delay in the game that will say if you're capable of playing an instance to counter or react to my spell. If it doesn't, then I'm automatically assuming he has no counters, he has no ability or anything that can play in conjunction with the next cast effect. So I'm going to go ahead and cast now because I don't have to worry about the counter. But if he has a bounce back, that's one thing. So I think the only thing I would probably critique you on is probably countering that survey. Other than that, I thought the deck looks good. The 3/3 illusion was a little bit costly though, but I like the effect. So I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. Right. And I get what you're saying, but just keep in mind, when somebody's casting a spell that doesn't affect your health or your creatures, typically just hold on to the counter, right? Because they're prepping to bring something. And when they do that, that's when you really want to lay that counter in, because that can really extend your gameplay, man. Oh my god. I'm going to go first with 4 land. Oh. I have to keep it. I don't want to, but I have to. One second. No way he lets this. He did. Okay.
More fun than in the Undercity. How you lived is how you'll die. here is more fun than in the Undercity.
Belongs in a place they can go. Our true strength lies in our friendships.
Oh, curses, that hurts! I've done things
Do the
I'm not
right
proud
thing.
of. It's not often I'm outmaneuvered. Leave before I make you disappear.
We can come back from this.
People call me a death. Oppressors deserve whatever I feel suits them. Keep your friends close. Kill your enemies.
Good game. Good game. We're almost there. Almost. That Drake. I wasn't expecting that Drake. I was trying to burn you out, right? So that Drake was a surprise. Right. I get it. I get what you're saying. That's why I was just giving you the heads up. Like, don't counter the survey. Like, it wasn't going to hurt you. If anything, it did benefit me, but it would have allowed you to keep a hold of that counter. That's the only thing I could critique you on.
Hi, I'm Jiang Yang Gu, and this is Mo Wu. Teamwork is strength. I will help you through this. The world is lacking kindness.
That was a good game. Walked out with 1 defeat, but got my coins. Hell yeah. Alright. Time to go shopping. Let's see what we get. Trying to get more of the Ranavis. Or the Nika or whatever. Oh, that's cool. Stomping ground. Land. Hey. Oh, I hate when this freezes. It's the end of my stream because I gotta actually boot this out. Oh, nope. We're good, we're good, we're good. Alright. So, progression. Should be tomorrow that I get my style card. And it'll be probably 2 days before I get this. Then we're just going to be moving on. This track is really nice. I kind of like this track because it's almost like every other day I'll be getting a bonus pack once, you know, the way it's set up. So I like that. Yo, Don, what's up, dude? Have you quit ESO too? Yeah, man. Let me make sure my mic's on. Yeah, I haven't been playing ESO because it's been just so buggy, Don. How you been, brother? How you been, brother? I was PvPing there for a while. I get on it to mess around like PvP, but it's taking unique builds out of the equation. It's taking unique builds because everything's like perfected plus this, perfected plus that. It's like stat stacking. It's like, you know, Maelstrom weapons are okay, but if you're going to use perfected gear, use perfected weapons. Why? Because you get the stat stack, right? And then anything on percentage base is going to scale. And it's like, I don't mind the idea of progression, but the problem of it is it becomes like linear. It puts a best in slot into play. And it really, like, you can play the content without that stuff, but it puts so much separation between the groups of players. You know what I'm saying? It takes unique builds and, you know, kind of makes it not obsolete, but almost why even try, you know, from those players' perspective, because you're going to have the toxic players being like, it's all about perfected. It's all about perfected. So I feel like add the bugs, add the way progression system has worked both in PvE and PvP, and now you have just, you know, the problem up front. They definitely need a lot of, you know, attention. That's my perspective on it. I mean, I hope you're still there and everything, but yeah, that's my perspective. ESL, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. I love Final Fantasy 14. I had a little bit of a, you know, incident a couple days ago, so I've been kind of like what I call recovery phase. So I'm going to be back on Final Fantasy 14 today, and I picked up Magic the Gathering Arena. And I'm really liking this game because it takes me back to those days when, you know, oh my god, I used to play the hell out of Magic the Gathering. And I like it. I love this game, actually. The guild decks looked dope. Yeah. Yeah. I really like it. I really, really enjoy I enjoy this game a lot. I've actually acquired quite a bit of cards already. So I'm pretty stoked about it, man. I'm far from where I want to be. Well, we'll do the collected first. But, you know, yeah, I got quite a bit. Still working it. I'm not collecting any of the older sets because our standard rules are about to change next month, I believe. So it's pointless. Matter of fact, I have opt, but just for now, I'm going to have to put it out. I've been getting a couple of planeswalkers and things. Trying to build up. I'm really liking this card too. This one's a little crazy OP at times. I need to work on getting some of the counters. The counters in this update were friggin' awesome. I really like the fact they have different effects for the counters. Thought that was cool. I think artifacts deck's kind of one of the harder ones to build. My one friend, he's building an artifact deck. It looks pretty sick. Yeah, we just got done dueling. I'm saving my wild cards for my Field of the Dead zombie deck. Got you. Yeah, I'm trying to, you know, right now, I mean, when it comes to the decks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 decks I've built so far. 8. I'm working on my 8th over here. I'm, you know, it's got me a little busy. Always trying to, you know, position myself. And that's something I really like about a game. What can I do? You know, what's my capabilities? I like games that have linear progression. I'm not saying I don't, but what I'm saying is Elder Scrolls had something very unique when it came to how players could approach the game. They really did. But all of a sudden performance was just terrible. They, you know, brought out I'm not downing anything that the devs do. It's not the devs. I'm saying literally, like, they did this, then somebody had a smart idea, like, well, the trial players want a form of progression. You could have had a form of progression without going the way they did. And unfortunately, it fucked them in the long run. It really did. It really fucked them in the long run with that type of game. Sandbox players do not want to see best in a fucking slot in a sandbox game. If you have a sandbox game, here's my recommendation. Never put a best system in a sandbox game. You'll kill your game. You'll kill it. That's one of the things when people said, well, it's best in slot. This is sandbox. There was no best in slot. There was in different values. And players, that's what players banked off of. The math. Their ability to use their heads to conceptualize and to formulate possible scenarios in which they could derive the same conclusion or better. Not saying that this gear has to be an absolute with every goddamn build you're ever going to come out with, because if you don't, you're going to suffer the consequences in comparison. Players do not want that in sandbox. It's just not the way they want it, you know, and that was the problem. You know, they went they went the wrong way in their approach. I'm not saying and dismissing the idea of progression. What I'm saying, they went the wrong way. They went about the wrong way of executing it. So I will say that. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it all ends up. But I always said, you know, ESO is still probably one of my most favorite games because of what it gave me throughout the years and, you know, my time in there. I thought it was good. I thought it was, you know, it had problems, but it was tolerable at a point, and then it became the point where it just started diminishing. The performance diminished, and it was just like, fuck it, man. I can't play this game, man, in its current state. It's not you know, there's no value now in it for me. If anything, it's more irritating than it is enjoyable. So I backed out, went to Final Fantasy off of a recommendation, and I fell in love with the game. I mean, the combat's a little bit slower for sure, but you know, because it's turn-based, but the fact that I was able to macro and the capability of playing every job on one tune and never having to roll an ult was amazing idea for me, because if I finished a storyline or a progression system within that universe, it didn't, you know, I didn't have to start from scratch. And that's something another players about, you know, who play Final Fantasy 14 enjoy. Once they get to a certain point, it's all about, what do you want to do now? What do you want to play now? What do you want to experience? You know, or you want to do the side stories? Are you getting into, you know, raiding? Are you crafting? Where are you going with your gameplay? And I think that's what keeps the toxicity at minimal over there. I mean, there are some toxic elements associated with Final Fantasy 14, but very few. Very few. I feel like you can find toxic players everywhere, but in Final Fantasy 14, there's not a big room for toxicity, because the devs do such a good job closing the gaps between the playability of the jobs. So, yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty good shit. And it's crossplay, which is another good feature. Anyways, Don Wazi, thank you for stopping in, man. The Don. If you guys don't know who Don Wazi is, go check him out. Content creator, I'm telling you, man. He's got tricks, man. I'll tell you what. There was some things I've seen on his videos, but like how he does configurations for all of the type of games he plays is awesome. I'm like, God, man, that is so slick. There is a lot of really cool tricks you'll learn watching his channel, man. And that's the one thing I always enjoy about content creators, because I feel like everybody can bring something to the table. And when you are, you know, apt to, you know, or open-minded to at least take into consideration what somebody's offering you, you can probably pick something up along the way. And that's just another arsenal in your... That's just another weapon in your arsenal. That's just something else you have that's attainable. So take it, be a sponge, absorb it all. Anyways, I got to get going, man. I want to thank you all for watching today. Thank you so much. I lost one game. It happens. Whatever. Some of these decks in this game are brutal. But as always, I'm Mystic Raven. This is Mystic's MMOs. Have a nice day.